I'm so sorry, YouTube. Maybe. Not really. Go to Rumble if you want to watch more than a snippet. Too much censoring on this site.
President Donald Trump.
Yay! We get to have ratings to watch our network again. You know, when I heard he was going to do this, I was like, what the hell, man? Really? But from what I hear, he pulled an Elon on him. So what I'm looking for is, one, how did he handle it? Did he have that strong spine? Is Rambo Trump here? Is what we saw when he started this whole thing really going to be the holding mentality? We shall see.
In that 3 hours, over 140 officers were injured that day.
And a person named Ashley Babbitt was killed.
Yes.
You know what? She was killed, and she shouldn't have been killed. And that thug that killed her, there was no reason to shoot her. At blank range, cold blank range, they shot her. And she was a good person. She was a patriot. There was no reason. There was no reason. And he went on television to brag about the fact that he killed her.
The officer was not bragging about the fact that he killed her. But one person who was at the Capitol that day, as you know, was your vice president, Mike Pence, who says that you endangered his life on that day.
I don't think he was in any danger.
Mr. President, do you feel that you owe him an apology?
No, because he did something wrong. He should have put the votes back to the state legislatures, and I think we would have had a different outcome. I really do.
But he doesn't have the authority to do that, as you know.
What?
All right, so the clapping had stopped there for a little bit as he made points, and he went quieter and he quit giving eye contact. Now the clapping is back.
The vice president does not have the authority to reject those.
Are you ready? Let's have this one
results.
out just now, because it's interesting. Let's keep it interesting, right? I like.
So now he gets that spine. I'm telling you guys, we're going to have to look at this cabinet. I don't want to sit there and beat this dead horse. Oh, there was some wonderful zingers in here. He did really well in the pushback. But I kid you not, God didn't make us individuals to be alone. And all of us need each other, and especially him. And those that show support for the good things of humanity, because I don't agree with everything he says. But it's just like any individual. You reward the good and punish the bad so that the bad doesn't continue and the good grows. And that's what needs to happen with Trump. Because the more armor he gets from all the good encouragement, the stronger the good will get. This is the town hall people in the afterward. And I'm sitting there thinking, when I first watched this, I was like, really? Again? They did this shit again? For those of you who do not remember, because I know 4 years is a long time ago. Remember they used to bring these people and then you find out later that none of them were Trump supporters, or it was just one person, or they were all paid actors?
Donald Trump, we have to be blunt about it, is not a truth teller. That's the way he's always been when he was a businessman, when he's been a politician. He has lied about the 2020 election. Donald Trump, we have to be blunt about it, is not a truth teller. That's the way he's always been when he was a businessman, when he's been a politician. He has lied about the 2020 election. Stuffed ballot boxes, it's all made up. He's lost dozens of court cases. Does it bother you that he keeps talking about 2020 and not 2024? I'll ask you first. This is Jonathan Leslie. He's 40, Republican, voted for Trump twice. How do you feel about those lies?
So I feel like part of it's also the media narrative, as you guys asked him the first question at the town hall about the 2020 election, rather than current stuff.
So don't you think he could say it's time for me to start talking about 2024 and not lies that aren't true?
Couldn't the media ask him a question about 2024?
Well, there were questions, but you're right, that was the first thing, but that's something that was on our mind.
Now this guy gives a bit of a pushback, which makes me sit there and go, maybe he's not a plant. But as I watch this, and we won't go over every detail because it just seemed odd. He gives some pushback. He starts wiggling his legs. He's becoming uncomfortable because it is not normal. People do not like to go against the grain. They don't like going against the aggressor, especially when it's a non-threatening aggressor.
McLaughlin is 21. He is undeclared, which is what you do in New Hampshire if you want to be independent. But he voted for Trump in 2020. Mike, same thing to you. What do you feel about Trump continuing to talk about those mistruths from 2020?
Personally, I'm getting tired of hearing about it. I'm very much more so interested in the problems that we face now, and I would prefer to hear him discuss the present issues more so than going to the past.
65-year-old Stephen Farnsworth, Republican, voted for Trump twice. Your opinion about that?
Well, I think that he's committed to it. That's what he feels. That's what he thinks.
What do you think?
So see the young guy, now we see the older guy. The interviewer, the CNN guy, has put himself in his position of power, and we're starting to see it more with these two. The position of power being he's standing up and above them. So they're all having to look up, and they don't really like giving eye contact.
Thinks that, or do you think he just keeps saying it to try to will it for people like you to believe it?
I think he actually thinks it.
And you also see the position of the CNN guy. He's very close to them so that he can look down. This may be why we got the stupidity coming out. I'm sure there's quite a few dingleberries in there, but it doesn't help that the blueberry with his piece of paper looking down on you is being intimidating and using language as a way to control you.
You do.
No, he may.
Even though he keeps losing in the courts over and over again.
He does say what's on his mind.
Okay. Do you think?
And kudos to this guy for just constantly pushing back. He didn't really have much of an argument because of the position he was put in, which is submissive. And if you are put in a submissive position, the mind goes submissive, and therefore you behave submissively. That is the way things go. That is why they tell you if you're going to walk or you're going to be at a job or anything you do in life, do it with confidence, because you will become confident. Don't be a confident idiot, but yeah.
So? That it was a rigged election?
I'll abstain.
You'll abstain, okay. All right, the next person on our list, 60.
So it made him really uncomfortable. He throws his hand out there from his thigh to get away from me. I'm done. And then he adjusts himself in the chair.
4-year-old, and you don't mind me saying your age, Cindy Owning, do you?
Not at all.
Okay, we were joking about that
For at least
before.
one more month.
Yeah, she's a Republican. She didn't vote in the past 2 presidential elections. How come you didn't vote, A, and B, what do you feel about the continuation of these lies about 2020?
You know, I don't know what's a lie anymore, but I think there needs to be a new narrative.
And what's the new narrative?
Current situations that are, involving all of us.
Current situations. But when you say you don't know what's a lie is a lie. I mean, all these courts have said there's one of the stuff.
So he says that, and then he pushes in on her. He steps forward. A lie is a lie. Rests back, still looking down on her. You see how this is going? This is the method that they use to, if I intimidate these people who we've made big on TV, they'll look how special they are. And now I'm going to use this person to intimidate them into submitting, and then all of the audience will watch this, and they'll fall in line behind these 8 people.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
If you'd like to learn more about analysing body language, there is a video course available on Mandy's website for Gold subscribers.